Hi Virgos and Virgo lovers. This reading is for mid-December 2018. I know we are a few days past the mid-month point now, but nonetheless this reading will be for December 16th through December 31st, 2018. So we do have the Two of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Before we get started, Virgos, we'll see what is representing you, what you are mainly dealing with, your main topic of conversation for the reading. We'll look back to what you are leaving behind, the energy you've just stepped out of, and forward to the future. We'll look at your friends, your enemies, weaknesses, strengths. Get a piece of advice for you. See if I can get these on camera for you a little bit. Barely. Okay, so it looks like Virgos, a lot of you are currently working toward a new destination and creating a new destiny for yourself because you feel you don't have all of what you need to be your healthiest currently. You've been working. You've been working hard, repeating the same routine, applying yourself in a very measured, controlled, determined, and dedicated way. And I think enjoying it. I think Virgos, you've really been liking that work. You've been crafting the environment you want, crafting the life that you want as you've been working this hard. But currently, as I said, it's still just not giving you all of what you need. There may have been a financial loss. You may feel a sense of lack because of recent spending. But you are working hard and seeing reward. It just isn't the reward just isn't meeting up with your needs at this time. Possibly because you have someone else to care for besides yourself. And likely because you're looking in the wrong places for it. You're trying to gain, build, attain what it is that you need purely through hard physical work. And there's some spiritual work that needs done to invite in the abundance that you're actually looking for, asking for, craving, yearning for. Excuse me. Strange, Virgo. Some of you may not be well. You do not have all of what you need to be entirely healthy at this point. So, for some of you, we are talking about your health. That is so strange. For some of you, we are actually talking about your health, Virgos. you have in fact been working so hard that you have run your energy down. And so you literally are not feeling completely healthy. This is the second time that the Page of Swords has shown up for you. This showed up for you when I was shuffling and meditating with the deck. This is the energy that you're stepping into in the near future. The position I would call tomorrow, not to be taken necessarily literally. This energy is youthful, confident, and wielding truth, speaking up with that truth. To possibly many different people, but I certainly think to this energy that you are alone with at this time, this other person in your Five of Pentacles picture. You're certainly offering a dose of your truth to that individual, or regarding your situation with that person. And that truth that the Page of Swords is carrying and wielding is usually not easy to carry. It's heavy. In this instance, I think it's simply because for some reason it's hard for you to be yourself right now, Virgo. It's hard for you to be totally authentic. And maybe what I'm saying is when we're not 100% healthy, when we don't have all of what we need to be healthy, that is not the authentic version of ourselves, right? In attaining this that you need, this that you lack, this that you crave, this that would make you well, would offer you total health and wellness. Precision is required. Patience is required. Forgiveness may very well be required, with the Temperance card showing up. And as I said at the beginning, I feel you are currently trying to craft and create and build a new destiny and a new destination for yourself, because where you are currently doesn't offer all that you want and need. And in creating that new version of you, that new version of your environment, your world, what is required is taking who you are, the world you have, and very slowly and precisely combining it with what you can of who you want to be and where you want to be. And see, this Page of Swords, as I said, is very youthful and confident, just as is this Chariot, which is showing up actually as your weakness. Now, what I haven't said yet about the Page of Swords is that in that youthful enthusiasm and confidence, with that youthful enthusiasm mainly, yes, this person will, this energy will grab a hold of the truth and carry it and deliver it, but not always in the most mature manner, right? It's not the knight, the queen, or the king of swords. It's the Page of Swords. This page sees truth and owns truth, but the sword is a little, as I said, heavy for this character to carry and to deliver. And so, they may stumble a bit. They may swipe at something with that truth and miss slightly. This is sort of a gruesome picture to paint, but I've been watching Game of Thrones again lately. It's someone going to behead someone and doing sort of a sloppy job and having to finish the deed. It can be immature communication, right? So for a lot of you, what's happening, and the reason I had to paint a little bit of a gruesome picture, I didn't really want to paint it, but is, like I said, you need to communicate with this other person that you are wandering lonely with. Now, not all of you are in that position. For some of you, this is just representing your own personal feeling of lack and feeling less than healthy, less than well, less than rich in some sense. But for some of you, this is a situation that requires precision and forgiveness, because you do need to communicate a truth to another person that's in this situation with you. It may be feeling alone with this person that is holding you back. And so some of you are in danger of communicating immaturely with that person, delivering your truth about the fact that you are finished with them in a very immature manner. Not in a, likely not on purpose, Virgos. But that's why I think the Chariot is showing up as a weakness. Whatever truth you need to wield and deliver, and however it is that you want to change your environment, your destiny, again, you want to get there quickly. You feel youthful and energetic about it. You feel enthusiastic. And so, like I said, you feel confident. But this is showing up as your enemy. Now, so possibly there's a Cancer in particular who is not being kind, holding you back, stopping you from getting a raise or a promotion or a job, or a new house, something tangible that could improve your health, right? But for others of you, if not a Cancer, then this is your own need, drive, desire, tendency even to forge ahead quickly, with power, with assertion, again, with that youthful, energetic confidence. And you're wanting to move very quickly. You're wanting to mow down whatever is in your way. And what may be in your way, it may be a partner that you're finished with who deserves more of your patience and more of your kindness. Because I do see that what is your friend, what is supporting you, is that you are finished with this situation. You're finished with this lack. You're finished with this poverty. You're finished with searching, stumbling, wandering around in the cold and dark, looking for good vibes. You will have them now. You're done. You're done staying in a state of wandering and hoping they find you. You're setting out to find them. And with the Chariot on the board, nothing will stop you. You will mow down whatever is in your way if that's what you decide to do. But it's showing up as a weakness, as an enemy. And I think for a lot of you, it's because you will wield that truth too hastily, communicate immaturely, and possibly hurt the feelings of someone who you could be more tender with. Now, maybe some of you are saying, they do not necessarily deserve it. And in that case, Virgo, I would just remind you, and I believe that the spread is reminding us that however we treat someone, however you treat someone, really says nothing about them. It says something about you. So you have, a chance to be your kinder, more evolved, steadier, more enlightened self. And because you're in a hurry to get where you are going, you may step on feelings unnecessarily. When in fact, as I said to begin with, all the tangible, physical, 3D hard work in the world can't make up for the spiritual work that we need to do in order to earn the abundance that we believe we deserve. So there's just a, there's a caution here to be careful with your tongue. Again, to be forgiving of this person if you don't think they do deserve a better ending, a nicer, kinder ending. (10-10) may be particularly significant for you at the end of December, Virgos. Pisces had the same two numbers show up. Let me glance at my notes real quick. I've just been revisiting my relationship with all of the cards lately, as I do frequently just because I love to do it. Yeah, there's this message that you can take what you learned in this space of lack, what you learned with this person who no longer supports you, who no longer offers you anything, who you no longer fit with, perhaps, or the environment that you no longer fit in. You can take what it taught you and who you are, who you were with that person in that space, what you learned there, and the fantastical vision that you have of your future, of your new destination that's in your heart and your mind's eye, and slowly, sweetly, with measure and moderation, combine the two into a beautiful third, a new reality for you that is neither your past nor your fantasy, but something tangible and new and real and here. And yes, I do think that it is a painful ending to a negative cycle that you were stuck in. Honestly, 10-10-10, 3 10s may be particularly significant for you at this time. We have the 10 of Swords, that ending, the 10 of Pentacles in reverse, and then the 10 of Cups in reverse. So your advice, your words of wisdom from the deck, your wise counsel from your friend, your good wise friend, the tarot, which you do not always have to take. I said the same thing to Pisces, is I believe that what you are seeking is not, it will not be found again in material wealth, tangible wealth, 3D hard work. You have been doing plenty of that. And there's something that needs to be visited in your spiritual and emotional body in order to, again, earn that abundance you feel you deserve. There is a message and an encouragement to turn your back on the material at this time, and I think that might be very difficult for a lot of you to hear, because you feel like the material has turned its back on you. You already don't have what you need. You already don't feel entirely healthy in that sense, and I'm telling you to stop forging forward toward it, to stop focusing on it. But for some of you, focusing on that lack may be creating more of it. Just to repeat the frustrating law of attraction that we hear all of the time. I don't love the way that it works. It seems to work that way for most people, though, if not all. Exceptions to every rule. I like to leave space for that. But the 10 of Pentacles in reverse is really just saying that by aiming for that so hard, so truly, at the expense of all else around you, you pretty much ensure that you cannot hit that target. Chalk it up to bad karma, the law of attraction, or move forward the way that I would in trusting the message of the tarot without needing a precise, detailed explanation as to why. Without offering unconditional love to each area of your life, your mind, your body, and your spirit, including your emotional body in there somewhere, you can't achieve the riches and the abundance and the goal that you want in just one of those areas. You have to tend to loving yourself and your life on all of those levels. And consider what being in this space of lack and need and the space of seeking support from others, consider what it was trying to teach you. Consider what it was trying to offer. Revisit who it has made you, what it has made of you, what lessons have you learned in that space, and who have you become in that space that would not have been possible without it, without some lack, without some need. Who have you met as you sought support that you would not have become friends with, or etc. Because again, I believe it's combining those things with the vision that you have for your new destination that will create the reality that is the next step toward what you want. And that's maybe what's frustrating for you, is that you cannot just be there now. There are at least a couple of steps in getting to where you are going here. Shifting your perspective in that way, considering it this time of lack and low health, for lack of a better term, that perspective shift will empower you. Owning the choices you made that brought you to that place, and asking why you would have wanted to learn those lessons, what was valuable in this space. And I can feel all of your frustrations. I really can. I can relate to them and I can feel them. This is not what you want to hear, and it seems unhelpful. But resist as you will, resist as you might, resist as you must. You won't be able to just suddenly stomp your feet and have what you want. Sorry. But that's just the truth of the matter. And again, perhaps visit 10-10-10. In general, to me, seeing those 3 10s is saying there is a cycle coming to a close. That's the thing. Spirit, source, soul, your guides, angels, whatever anchors you, wants to see this cycle come to a close as well. Whomever aids and helps you, the powers that be, want to aid you now. Do want to see this cycle close for you as much as you do. But there is again some precision required, some finesse that it really is patience that we must learn here. There's some finesse required, and it wouldn't be patience if you were asked to deliver it in a time of peace and wealth and health and prosperity and abundance. Of course, anyone can be patient in that space. It's testing your patience now, because this is the space in which your patience can be tested. It's your faith and And patience is, and ability to forgive when you are down, when you yourself are in need, are being tested now, because this is the only type of space that can be tested in. Now, I want to say, though, that is not to scold you, or anyone for that matter, for communicating immaturely. Source, wouldn't ask more of you than you can deliver. And I, certainly would be, oh no, get that later. I certainly would be a hypocrite to say, to pretend that I communicate properly all of the time. I lose my temper. I at least I have in the past said things I don't mean in that space, right? We all communicate in this immature fashion. Sometimes we get excited, we get angry, we get emotional, we get needy, we get desperate. We all find spaces where we say, we speak in ways we wish we hadn't later, right? We say things that we wish we had thought better of and reworded. And so this is not to say don't mess up, do it correctly, make sure that you do it the right way. It's just to say, intend to, try your hardest to deliver whatever truth, whatever news you must in this situation in the near future, here at the end of the month. Intend to do it in the most mature and enlightened way possible. And that's not to say that we won't drop that sword. That's not to say that we won't misstep. Of course, sometimes we will still. But we're with the Temperance card showing up as one of your major arcanas. We're only depriving ourselves of the health and balance that you are actually seeking when we don't even try to be our most enlightened and mature self for the sake of ourselves and others. This card Temperance is also a lot of the time saying to me, no sudden moves. And that's your weakness. You don't just want to make a sudden move. You want to rush ahead. And you can. I think you have the capability to. That way, that path is just not leading where you intend to go. A slower, more centered flow that releases control to the divine, that releases control to your circumstances, to the fact that you need a power greater than yourself to aid you now. That river runs where you are trying to head. There's a compromise required here. That and again, that fusion of past lessons and future visions is what will create the harmony that your soul is actually seeking, whether you're in touch with the fact that that's what you want or not. And I'm, to a certain extent, I am speaking to myself. I have a Virgo South node that I do identify with still. You may even, you may need to offer forgiveness to this individual in the situation with you, even if you no longer want to be a part of their lives, even if you no longer want to partner them, for instance. Mending that relationship, even though it's ending, even though it's ending, may be the key, again, to the wealth that you're wanting. Because in the more distant future, with the 10 of Cups in reverse, I see that the outcome of the situation, what did I decide to call this position? Your current destination. Go figure. Your current destination, meaning where you're headed on the path that you're on now. So of course, free will and other circumstances can change this, but your current destination is still wanting for emotional fulfillment. So by the end of the month or moving into January, if you haven't already, you will begin to realize that that's actually more of what you were looking for. And it's ironic and funny and so true how often we can find what we're looking for by offering it to someone else. And this chariot moves with such force, and there is a time and space for all things. It's beautiful that you have this hidden in your depths, that you have this in your mind and your heart, that you can forge ahead with this confident, energetic force whenever it is time to call upon it. But the reading is saying that time is not now. It's time instead for stability, adaptation, a slow blending, the slow, peaceful combination of what you have had and what you must have. And then moving through January, or even heading into February for some of you, then victory. Then we see victory. So this lesson in forgiveness and truly, I feel, patience. Patience above all else. This lesson in patience. If it's not learned today, it will be learned tomorrow. If we don't get it here at the end of this month, we will get it moving through January, or even by the time we move into February, because I see victory. And this is often a victory that has humbled you. So it may be a hard lesson for some of you to learn. And I can't say that I wouldn't move at exactly the same pace, because it looks like, you have been stuck in a negative cycle. So, especially if it's with another person, you've been hurt, you've been wronged on some level, in some sense. You are, some of you, a little annoyed, if not angry, and you're ready to cut this energy out of your life that you feel has deprived you. And what right do I or the tarot or anybody have to say and how harsh of a manner you can or should do that, right? But again, if you force forward with a sharp tongue and harsh words that you haven't thought out, the victory may be more distant than you'd like it to be, and it may be very humbling before you reach that destination. And for some of you, that's just the path that you're on, and that's just the way that the dominoes need to fall. But the reason that we do this is to expedite progress and evolution and avoid the pitfalls where we can, right? Yeah. This 10 of Cups, this lack of emotional fulfillment that's on the horizon for some of you, as I was just saying, it is just part of your path. It is just part of your destiny. It is just another lesson that you are fated to learn here in the near future. And I, as your reader, have to say, I don't think that necessarily means that you have to move through it in that way. You've been through pain recently. You can see the lesson clearly now. I feel like very few of you will find yourself truly heeding this advice. Some experiences, some moments, some conversations, some harsh exchanges we just have to have. Some mistakes we just have to make. And I completely concur with the fact that deciding to be patient with someone, especially someone who has hurt you, before you see the repercussions of not being patient with that person, not being forgiving with that person, is one of, if not the hardest lessons to take out of the hands and out of the mouth and out of the experiences of someone else, rather than moving through it yourself. It is, just a hard space to move through. but you have the opportunity to. You're given the, if you've stumbled upon this reading, you are given now the opportunity to. And trust me, if this is what you're wanting, to expedite your progress, to hurry up and get where you are going, you can get there quicker with a forgiving heart, with a forgiving attitude, making forgiving choices. And that's not to say stay with someone that you don't want to be with. If someone has wronged you, or even if just the relationship is over, the partnership is over, the situation needs to end, that is not to say stay. It's just to say be patient, be forgiving, be kinder than your tongue is wanting to be at this time. Because this future position, this more distant and even more distant future position, these are just representing the path you're on now, and you can edit that path. You can change that. You can get where you're headed quicker by heeding some of the tarot's advice here. Nonetheless, either way, however slowly or quickly we reach our destination here, Virgos, be it December, January, February, or beyond, once you reach that point of victory, no matter how humbling it may end up being, I do see you attracting kindred spirits, like-minded individuals, speeding toward enlightenment then, after that point, after these lessons. And that's so much of what we're doing here. We're trying to create our path and see what choices we have. It may not have been a choice that even occurred to you before, and now seeing the choice and seeing how making the choice to be kinder and more patient, even in the face of someone who may not deserve it truly, elevates you quicker. You can believe that, right? That's just fact. It elevates you quicker, which evolves you quicker. You're growing at a faster rate. You'll reach where you're headed sooner. Now that you see that you can make that choice, maybe you'll grab a hold of it. Because inspiration is on the horizon as well. Inspiration and a new partnership. And perhaps even that fantasy that has seemed impossible. All these things are on the path beyond this victory, beyond meeting these like-minded individuals, these kindred spirits. So you would think we would all want to get there, to get there as quick as possible. But you catch more flies with honey, right? Just a sweeter attitude flows easier down that river. In this instance, these sphinxes, this chariot, will gallop and gallop and gallop in circles and back again for a minute until it's humbled and has to ask for direction. It's just what we're looking at here. So Virgos, I hope that it helped. I hope it offered you some insight. I hope it offered you something that you didn't have when you came to the reading, and I hope you will make very wise choices for yourself moving forward. They are yours. They are yours. Again, this is just advice from a wise friend, and I don't mean me, I mean the tarot. This is just advice, wise counsel from a good friend, and we don't always take that. We don't. But thank you so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I truly appreciate that. It really helps the channel, as do your donations and purchases. So welcome, Lunartics. Thank you again. And if you would like to order a private personal reading from me, just scroll down to the description below the video or email me at LunarticksTarot@gmail.com. Now, you're welcome to do both. A lot of people like to email me before they make their purchase to discuss, well, some people like to email me before to discuss the types of reading, etc., what they need in particular, but most of that information again is below. Most people like to email me after. As soon as you make your purchase, you are scheduled, and then if you'd like to email me astrological information, specific questions, etc., I'm happy to hear them. And normally, yes, normally I can offer you more specific answers if I have more specific questions and astrological information, but that's not always the case. Sometimes a detailed reading comes out for someone who has shared nothing with me, and people do ask, what do you need to know? You don't have to tell me anything. If you don't want to share anything of yourself, then you don't have to. So it's completely up to you. Either way, I love you very much, Virgos, and I will post us another tarot fix very soon.